Hi everybody, it's Ashley from Posh Crochet Patterns. Today's video is this really cute lamb chop square. So we are going to make this lamb chop pattern, this sheep. Isn't it cute? It has the bobbles, and also we got the square. I did the square in black. I thought it looked good, a good contrast um, with the sheep, which of course you can use any color that you'd like. And this is worked in the round. It's fairly easy. You just repeat the same thing over and over, and it grows as you go around. I really like it. It's a little bit spiraled, but if you wanted to make a blanket, then that would work great for this. You would have 4 single crochets at the end in the chain 3 spaces. That way you can connect across and sew and stitch them all together, so it'll work great for a blanket. And then of course, if you want to add this to your squares for your blanket, then that's great too. So I guess what we'll do first is we'll make this cute little lamb chop first, and then once we finish that, and then we'll go on to make the square. And I want to talk about the supplies that you will need. So for this cute little lamb, I used this white yarn. This is a category 4 weight yarn. It is Yarnspirations Ogo yarn. This is just, I'd say this is about a third of the tube left, but it didn't take that much to make that. It actually didn't take much of the yarn at all to make this. It's actually a coaster size, so if you wanted to make this as a coaster, that would work well with that too. And for the face, this is considered a size 4 weight yarn as well. This light tan. I don't know what the yarn is called that I used. It came in a kit for amigurumi. I like this yarn. I just don't really know the manufacturer for it, but I would just use either a 3 light or a 4, something not too bulky. And for the cheeks, I used floss, and for the eyes and the nose, I used floss. And this is what the floss looks like. I think I paid like 25 cents just for one little thing. I'm in the craft department at Walmart. This is like it's a shade of pink. I don't really know what shade it is, but I like it. And then this is also black. So that's what I used for the cheeks and the eyes and the nose. I thought about using a category 4 weight yarn for the eyes and the nose, but it was too bulky. So I just stuck with the floss. It was thin and lightweight, and I think it turned out really well. I think it goes good with it. And for the square here, this is a category 4 weight yarn. This is also the Yarnspirations Ogo yarn. And this is a whole donut that I opened up to make this square. So as you see, I didn't use hardly any at all to make one square. So yeah, so you won't need much yarn for this project unless you want to make a blanket. So yeah, and let's see, we will need a yarn needle, This is just a regular yarn needle. And to stitch the eyes on and the ears and the face and the cheeks, I used just regular needle, regular sewing needle, and all-purpose thread. I actually got most of my stuff from Walmart here. Actually got all of this from Walmart except for this. Like I said, this came in an amigurumi kit with the magazine that I bought from Sam's Club. So yeah, that's what you'll need. You'll need the yarn for the sheep, yarn for the face, floss for the eyes, nose, floss for the cheeks, and then the yarn for the square. The hook size that we will use for this entire project will be a size 4mm crochet hook. Let's see if I can get that to focus in. Here you go. So we will use this size 4mm crochet hook for the lamb and for the square as well. So to start off, we will go with the white. So we will be making the body of the lamb first, the whole white part, and this is the back of it. So we will start off with the white and work in the round, going around and around, and then we will make our bobbles and then our increases with our bobbles, and then after that, then we will make the round shape of the face, this light brown. So to begin with our white yarn and our size 4 hook, we will make a magic ring, and I'm just going to use my easy method. We will chain 1 and we will make 8 single crochets in the ring. Once you have your 8 single crochets in the ring, we will tighten our ring up, pulling that tight, and we will slip stitch into that first single crochet. For row 2, we will chain 1 and we will make 2 single crochets in that same chain that we slip stitched into. We will make 2 single crochets. And all the chains around, we will make 2 single crochets into each chain. Okay, we need 16 single crochets all the way around. I just double checked and counted mine. We will slip stitch join in that first single crochet. For row 3, we will chain 1. In the same chain, we will make 2 single crochets. In the next chain, we will make 1 single crochet. In the next chain, we will make 2 single crochets. So we will repeat this pattern all the way around. The next chain is 1 single crochet. The next chain is 2 single crochets. Next chain is 1 single crochet. Next chain is 2 single crochets. And we will just repeat that till the end. And in your last chain, you will have 1 single crochet. You will slip stitch join into that first single crochet at the end. I'm just going to tighten down that slip stitch join. For row 4, we will chain 1, And in the same chain, we will make 2 single crochets. In the next 2 chains, we will make 1 single crochet in each. So on the next one, we'll get 1 single crochet. In the next chain, 1 single crochet. In the next chain, we will now repeat the pattern of 2 single crochets in one, and then the next 2, 1 single crochet in each, and then the next set will be 2 single crochets in one, next chain 1 single crochet, next chain 1 single crochet, and we will repeat that around. So the next chain will be 2 single crochets, next 2 chains 1 single crochet in each, next chain 2 single crochets, next chain 1 single crochet, next chain 1 single crochet, next chain 2 single crochets. We just continue that pattern all the way around. And once you get to the end, the last 2 chains will be 1 single crochet in each. Then we will slip stitch join to that first single crochet of the round. I'm going to tighten down that slip stitch. And that's what it's looking like so far. Like I said, this right here, this is big enough to have as a coaster. I'm going to show you real quick. Let's see if I got a ruler. Usually got a ruler around here somewhere. Huh. Oh, let's see. Come on. Well. Okay, so the middle of the face here, which we are doing right here, this measures out to be a little over 2.5. So it'd be a little over 2.5 all the way around. Let's see. So yeah, you can stick your drink right on that. So it doesn't have to be made, you know, to put on a square. You can make these as cute little coasters too. For row 5, we will chain 1 and we will make one single crochet in each chain all the way around. So in the same chain here where we slip stitched, we will make one single crochet and one single crochet in each chain. Once you reach the end of row 5, make our last single crochet, and in our first single crochet of the round, we will slip stitch into that, slip stitch join. For row 6, we will chain 2, we will turn our work. In that same chain, we will yarn over, we will insert our hook into that chain, we will yarn over, pulling that through the stitch, we will pull that up, we have 3 loops on our hook, we will yarn over and only pull through 2, we will yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through, pull that up, we have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, only pull through 2, yarn over, insert hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert hook into stitch, yarn over, pull that through. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert hook into stitch, yarn over, pull that through. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over. We are going to pull through all 6 loops. And that is our bobble. And the reason why we chained 2 and turned was because when we make these bobbles are going to pop out of the back of the work. And the back of the work is technically the front of our work. So we want our bobbles to stick out like this on the front. And then it's flat on the back. So now in the next 3 chains, we will make 1 double crochet in each. So we will yarn over, we will insert our hook into the next stitch, and yarn over and pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that's a double crochet, so we will do that again in the next 2 chains. In the next chain, we will make another bobble, just like we did the first time. In the next 3 chains, 1 double crochet in each, and we will repeat this pattern all the way around. Next chain would be a bobble, and then after that the next 3 chains will be 1 double crochet in each, and then we will repeat the bobble and then the 3 double crochets. And we will make our 3 double crochets in the last 3 chains. And once you're done, we will slip stitch join in the top first chain of the chain 2, pull that tight. Now, see, for row 7, in the same chain, we will make, we need to chain 2, and in the same chain, make 2 double crochets. So we will chain 2, and in that same chain, make 2 double crochets. In the next chain, make 1 double crochet, in the next chain we will make a bobble, yarn over, pull through all 6, in the next chain we will make 2 double crochets. So we are increasing in this stitch. In the next chain we will make 1 double crochet. So as you see, we're still sticking with bobble 3 double crochets. It's just we're making the 2 double crochets in the chain after the bobble. So this increases. And as you see, it was curving. It was curving in, but now it's not curving in. So the next chain will be a bobble. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 6 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 6. Next chain gets 2 double crochets. Next chain, 1 double crochet. And then the next chain will be a bobble, and we will repeat this pattern all the way until the end. Once you reach the end, the last 2 chains will be 2 double crochets, and then in the last chain 1 double crochet. We will slip stitch join in this top chain 2, pull that tight, and we are done with the background of the lamb or the sheep, whichever you want to call it. And we need to weave in our yarn ends and hide those in the back, and then we need to begin on the round face, and that's what we'll be doing next. Let's see, scissors. We will cut our yarn tail. We will pull that yarn tail through that loop on our hook to bind off. Pull and tighten that, and that pulls that knot down. Now we just need to weave in our yarn ends and hide those in the back. This magic ring, I would tighten that. And let's see, use a smaller hook to get in here and weave this in, if I can get that to work well. Well, maybe not. Let's try this one here. Okay, there we go. Well, I don't want that to come undone. Stitches are so tight, can't get in there. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so we have the body of our sheep. See, you can use that as a coaster once we put the face in and decorate the face. Yeah. Okay, so now get your brown color or the color that you're choosing for the face. Get that ready. We'll be using the same hook size. The see if I can get that to focus in. The 4mm G6 hook. So we're going to continue to use this size hook, and I will meet you all back then. I wanted to show you all this yarn right here, this really light brown yarn that I used for the face of this. This is the magazine kit that I got from Sam's Club. It's an amigurumi knitting and crochet magazine. So it had a bag over it, and it had about 6 balls of different colors of this yarn to make some of these projects right here. And the yarn is called peony, like the flower. And it says here to buy more peony yarn at giftstoyou.com/peony. And I really do like this yarn. I've never found any yarn like this yarn. This yarn is very, very stretchy. It's very stretchy. Very stretchy, very, let's see if I can get a better, it's very, very stretchy. It's super soft. It's not real thin. It works up pretty thick, but this yarn is great. I hate that I only had just, small balls of it, but it is very, very nice yarn. And I guess it's the type of yarn that they use for amigurumi. And so, yeah, it's called Peony. And that's the ball right there that they gave me. Right there. Soft Fawn. 22 grams. It's a small skein. But these are actually all the balls of yarn that came with the kit. It came with this yarn right here, which I like. And it came with that coral color, the blue, the dark blue, the pink, and the brown. So yeah, so if you are interested in getting this yarn, I would definitely go to that website to get it. And I just wanted to let y'all know that. And yeah, so we'll begin now. I know I told you all in the beginning, the white yarn, the black yarn for the square is Yarnspiration's Ogo yarn. And then the eyes are black floss, the nose is black floss, and the cheeks are pink floss. So yeah, so this brown is a peony called Soft Fawn. In case you all want to check that out or pick that up, it is very nice. It's so stretchy and bouncy. It reminds me of sock yarn. That's what it reminds me of. So what we're going to do is we are going to repeat rows 1 through 5, just like we did here before we did the bobbles. That is exactly what we're going to do using this soft fawn and peony. So we will need to, let's see, oh okay, yeah, we're making a magic ring. We will chain 1, and we will make 8 single crochets in this ring. Yeah, and it holds up really well too. A lot of times when I'm making the magic ring with the first row, sometimes I have a hard time holding on to it while I'm crocheting, but it's just staying in place. It's not giving me any problems at all. And it's so soft. It's very soft and stretchy and bouncy. I really love it. I really do. And I think it looks great on this sheep's face. So now we will slip stitch join. So we will do that right here in that first single crochet. We will, for row 2, we will chain 1, and we will make 2 single crochets in the same chain. So we are just repeating exactly what we did with the white yarn. And each chain will be 2 single crochets. And we will need 16 single crochets. And I would go back and count so you don't accidentally crochet into that slip stitch. That's why I like to pull it tight after I slip stitch so I don't confuse that slip stitch with my chain. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's perfect. We will slip stitch into that chain right here. This is our first single crochet. And pull that tight so that that slip stitch is real small and tight. I'm gonna tighten my magic ring too. Yeah, this yarn is lovely. I really like this yarn. So continue on till row 5, and I will meet you back at the end of row 5. So you will repeat exactly what you did from row 1 to row 5. So once you've completed rows 1 through 5, I'm at the end of row 5, So I will slip stitch into that first single crochet, pull that tight. I will clip my yarn tail, we'll grab that yarn tail and pull that through that loop that was on my hook, pull that tight. We need to tighten the magic ring, and we need to weave in our yarn ends just like we did for the white one. Need to hide those in the back. And then we are going to sew it. I don't think that small hook's going to work. Then we're going to sew it onto the front middle of the white piece that we made. And then we will make the ears and the cheeks and the eyes. And then we will stitch in the nose and mouth with a yarn needle. Okay, that's good. Tighten that up. Try to hide this in here real good. Let's see. Go through one more of the back stitches. Be done with that. Okay, now we need our needle and thread, our sewing needle and sewing thread. And we will sew then we will sew this on. We'll sew this on in the middle. So you need to get your thread. My thread is this color. It doesn't match it exactly, but it's kind of close. It kind of looks like a, oh, is that a champagne color or something? Yeah, champagne. It's like a champagne color. So I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna go in from the back. And then I'm gonna stitch it in. I want it right along the edges of that row 5. And I'm going under the chains. So these chains, these pretty chains, I'm going under. Let's see, there it is. I'm just going to go under the chains. I like the chains. I think the chains are pretty. And there you go. That's all we got to do for that is just sew that all the way around. And then we'll tie it off, clip that, and then we'll begin making the ears and the eyes and the cheeks. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and sew mine on too, and then I will meet you all back to make the ears. So I'm done stitching on the front. So I will tie this off and clip it. Okay, and that's done now. Okay, so there's our front so far for our lamb, or if you want to call it a sheep. I think it's really cute so far with its nice cute baubles. Okay, so now we will still use this peony in the color fawn, I think it is. And we will use the same size hook, same size number 4. Let's see here. Okay, ears. All right, now we will be making the left ear first. We will make a slip knot. We will chain 6. In the 3rd chain from hook, make 3 single crochets. So on the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, we will make 3 single crochets. In the next 3 chains, we will make single crochet 3 together. So we will go into the chain, pull that up, we'll go into the next chain, yarn over and pull that up. We'll go into the next chain, yarn over and pull that up. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. Then we will slip stitch into that same chain. And then we are done. So now we just clip it. Pull that yarn tail through that loop and pull that tight. So this is our left ear. Okay. Now it's time to make the right ear. So we will make a slip knot. we will chain 6. In the 3rd chain from our hook, we will make 3 single crochets. In the next 3 chains, we will make a single crochet 3 together, just like we did before. Go into the next chain, yarn over, pull that up, go into the next chain, yarn over and pull that up. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. This time we will chain 1 and then we will slip stitch into the same chain. We will clip our yarn. We will pull that yarn tail through that loop, pull and tighten that to bind off. And that is our right ear. And then this is our left ear. So I've weaved in my ends in the back of the ear on the left ear, just back there, and then I tied it into a knot. When I sew that on, it's not going to be seen. So we're going to do that for this one. We're just going to try to find maybe a couple stitches, like right here maybe. Let's see if I can use my nail, just get that through there. Get that through there. Get this one. Let's see. I'm just going to try to get it through just a couple stitches. Just to get that more towards the back. Which, I don't know, maybe a little bit more in the back. Let's see this one. Get that back there. No. Okay. Let's go ahead and tie it. To a knot. Clip it. Now we will take our sewing needle and thread with that same color thread. I'm using the champagne color. Let's see. I'll put that ear over there. I think that's a good spot for it. Let's see. 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 Let's see my first one I did, I went in through the front instead of the back, and I didn't really like that, so I'm just going to go in from the back now. And then that to the front. Till I get that where I want it. I know it's hard to see the thread because it's so thin and light colored. I'm just going to tie this into a knot now to secure it in the back. Clip that. Gonna thread my needle again. Cute little ear. Okay, so now I just need to line it up on the other side and sew that on. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and sew on your ears, and then I will meet you back and we will make the eyes and the cheeks, and then we'll stitch in the nose last. Okay, now it is time to make the eyes. I am using floss. It comes in a little little package like this. Let's see. And then we will also use this one for the cheeks. I don't know what the name of this color is, but I did get these both at Walmart. So we will make a slip knot. We will chain 6. Actually, I must have used a smaller hook for this. It seemed a bit big. Let me see that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to have used a smaller hook. Let's see, maybe I used this size hook. I think maybe I used this size hook on this. I totally forgot. I was thinking I used the same hook size. Okay, well, let's see if this one works. I apologize. I'm always so busy making tons of different crochet projects that I forget which size hooks I use. Let's say 3, 4, 5, and 6. that looks right. It had to have been this hook size. Okay, so for the eyes, I would not use the size 4. It seemed a bit too big. The chains looked too big. So I would use either a size 3, or a size 3.125. A size 3 would work fine too, but all we want is 6 small chains, just like this, and then we will stitch them on. So I made the 6 chains. We'll clip the yarn. And we will just pull that yarn tail through that loop and just pull it tight. Make sure both ends are tight and secure. We will clip those down really short to that knot. Yeah, I just every day I'm working on more and more crochet projects that it is hard to keep up with which hook size I use. There we go. So that is what we will do. That is what I did for the other one. I just chained 6. And really, you could always use a smaller, if you don't like how big the chains are, you can use a smaller hook. It won't make too much of a difference. It may even make it look better. Make sure those knots are good and tight. Then clip that short. That actually looks too big. Hold on, goodness. I would have problems while I'm videotaping. That looked too big. We need a smaller hook. Let me see. I wish I would have wrote that down, what I did, which hook size I used. Definitely need a smaller hook. See, I got a 1.5, got 1.4. Let's try this one, yeah, because that was too big. It was too big. Let's try this again. That looks better. That looks a lot better. I think this one's the winner right here. This one is a 1.5. And this does look right. That looks pretty perfect. It's not too big. Unless you prefer, you know, the eyes to be wider. then I would use the 3, but if you want it smaller, I would go with this one, the 1.5. That looks right. That looks right. Now this, I once I stitched it in, it ended up looking a little bit smaller, but that, I believe that's the one. So this one is a 1.5 millimeter crochet hook. So I believe this is the one that I used. So we're going to make another one. Pull that through. Yes, that looks great. Okay, so now we just need to thread our sewing needle with some black thread, and we will just go in from the back and we will just work along. We will sew it how we want it. So if you want it more like that, you can. If you want it more curved, even if you wanted it in a circle, you could do that, but I want I want mine to look more like a U shape. Well, that looks a little crooked, but you know what I mean. So let's get this ready with the black thread. You don't need much. Well, I may have got more string than what I need, but now let's see. So I will do, let's see, so I did this a little bit over right there. It's pretty good. I think that looks decent. Okay, there we go. I like that. That looks a lot better. It wasn't too hard. You can go back over it a second time to work your way back to this end, but I am just going to do like this. So I don't want to tie it across like that, so I'm just gonna insert it just through these white stitches to get my way back over there, so I can just tie this off just like that. Okay, there we go. Untie this, and then we'll do the other eye, and then so you do that, and I will meet you all back, and we will make the cheeks and sew on the cheeks. I want to show you all a little trick I did after I made the first eye. When I was sewing on the second eye, I thought, well, why not turn this one into more of a girly one? This one, the first one I made, kind of looks like a boy. And then I thought, well, why not add little eyelashes at the ends here? So what I did on the eye, like on this side, just insert the hook and that last stitch, pull just a small piece of the, oops, oh, that came undone. Here we go. Just redo this. Okay, insert it in the last stitch and pull that through. I want to pull both through. There we go. And have it, so when you sew it on, have it like that. When you stitch it on, have this hanging out the edge. Let's see if I can get my sewing needle here. And you sew the eye on just like this. You would sew it on, sew all that together, and then clip it real short so that you have those little fringes on there. So that's what I did. I think it looks cute. I think it looks more like a girl. So that's what I did for this one. I get all kinds of ideas when I make things. So to make the cheeks, it's really simple. So to make the cheeks, we will make a magic ring. We will chain one, darn it, I'm having issues with this floss. I made the loop too big when I made the magic ring. Okay, there we go. Chain one, go into the ring, and we will make 7 single crochets. So you make the 7 single crochets. Tighten that magic ring down. We will slip stitch into that first single crochet, and tighten that magic ring. Now we will clip it, pull that yarn tail through that loop to tighten it off, and try to hide the yarn ends a little bit better. Now I'm going to tie the 2 yarn ends together, and then sew it on to the lamb's face, wherever you want to put it. So now I'm going to clip it, and that's what it looks like. And that was with the, I made that with the 4mm crochet hook. So the only time I needed the 1.5 hook was to make the eyes. And see how cute. Isn't that cute? So now we just need to make our other one, and we will put it on the opposite side. Try to match it up as even as possible. And then after that, we will take our yarn needle and we will thread it with the black floss that we use for the eyes, and we are just going to stitch in a Y shape. So we'll stitch in a V and then we'll come down with one straight line, just like this one. I was kind of thinking about making this one wider, like a wider Y shape, instead of a smaller one like this, just to make them look different. That way you can tell the difference between the boy and the female. So go ahead and make your cheeks. So make 2 of these, and I will meet you back and we will sew them on. Okay, so it's time to sew on our cheeks. I'm just going to remove this one and put it here. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to go in from behind. And I'm using pink sewing thread. Okay, almost done with this cheek. Really, let's see, really want it to look nice. I'm trying to get it on the right spots. Okay. Almost. There we go. Okay, we'll flip that over. I'm just gonna pull that through closer to that side. Okay, there we go. So one cheek's on there. So now you just need to sew on your other cheek, and I will too. And then after that, I will meet you back and we will thread this yarn needle with the black floss, and we will stitch in our Y shaped for the nose and the mouth. Okay, so all you need to do now is thread your yarn needle with the black floss. We are going to go right under the middle here. We're going to go right under the brown applique, go right under it, come out about right here. I'm going to pull this through. Have enough hanging out the bottom so that we can tie it off when we're done. Now we're going to go up. Let's see, maybe. So we're going to try to make a V, and we're just going to go back under, come back out in the same spot. Just going to pull that through. I want to go over it one more time in the same spot and back through, just so it's just so you can see it better. Okay. Now we need to go up, need to go over. We'll try to get this as even as possible, maybe right here. We want it to come back out in that same spot to make a V. This is really cute. I'm really glad that I made this. Okay, there we go. We're going to go back up and back out again in that same spot. Just overlapping it. There we go. And now we're going to go, let's see, we want it right in the middle. We need to go here, maybe right here. So I'm going to go back up in that same spot. There we go. We're going to do that again. We're going to go in the same spot. And you can, make your mouth and your V any shape you want. This one, I have the eyes a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. So I thought it'd probably be better to make the Y shape or this V shape right here a little bit wider. That way this one looks a little bit different from this one. Or you can just do small. See, with this one, I went a bit wider. I went a bit up more for the girl. But for the boy, it looks like I just went across one row here. So I went in right here, come in under here. And I came out about here. So I just went under 1, 2 rows. I came out right here. And then I just overlapped, covering just this one row right here. But with this one, I did do the same thing. I just went, instead of going up, overlapping one row, if I would have did that, it would have been too close to the eyes. Now maybe if I would have had the eyes up here a little bit more, then I could have just went up from here to there, from here to there, like I did the boy. But I did it like this. But you can do it any way you want. So now our yarn strand's up here, and we want to go back in right here. And then we're going to go out that bottom where we started. Just like that. And then, so it's all underneath, so we'll tie this off right here. And then we're going to cut it. I think it's cute. It looks a little different from the first one, but I think it's still a success. I think it still looks great. There we go. And look, it's hidden. You can't see it. I think it looks great. And these are kind of floppy, but if you don't want them floppy, you can sew them back up like this, which that actually might look better if I put a couple stitches right here to hold the ears back instead of them flopping. So you can do it however you want. You can shape your eyes any way you want. You could have shaped them into a circle if you wanted, or just like this, like the closed sleepy eyes. I think the closed sleepy eyes are very cute. I think these are really, really adorable. So now we just need to make the square. And the square is not hard. Believe it or not, it is very easy. Each row we'll be doing the same thing and double crocheting into each chain, and then working into the chain 3 spaces and increasing in the chain 3 spaces, and then just work our way all the way around until we get to a certain row. And you'll be able to make multiples of these, and you'll be able to sew them together. It is a perfect square, trust me. If you wanted to sew these together, you know, one here, here, and at the bottom, it will work perfectly. So that's the one I made to look more like a girl, which I like this one. I like my original better. But it would be cute though to have multiples, you know, one that looks different from the other, so that each square is not completely identical. I think that would be nice too. So, all right, let's get started. So, this is a category 4 yarn. We will be using the size 4mm G6 hook. We will need, I'm using Yarnspirations Ogo yarn. This yarn is similar to Super Saver. I think it's a little bit lighter than a Super Saver. But if you could find a nice worsted weight, that would be nice too. So let me get this stuff out of the way and pull up the pattern here. Okay. So to start off, we will just need to make a slip knot. Things out of the way. Set this up a little bit better. Okay. We will chain 4, and we will slip stitch into that very first chain. I think I'm going to change the lighting in here. This black's a little hard to see. I went ahead and decided that I'm going to use a different color of Ogo yarn. This is also the same brand yarn where it comes in a donut. That black, it would have been too hard for you to be able to see what to do. So this way you'll be able to see it much better. So we will make a slip knot. We will chain 4, and we are going to make a ring. So now we are going to go into that very first chain. We are going to slip stitch, and this creates a very small ring that we will crochet into. So now we will chain 3, and this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We will now make 2 double crochets, one and 2, and we are going right into that ring. So we are working around this foundation chain here. So we have our 3 double crochets. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We will chain 2, and in the same ring we are going to make 3 double crochets. and these are called granny sets. And we will chain 2. We will go into that same ring, and we will make 3 double crochets. So we got our chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet, then 2 double crochets, chain 2, another 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so chain 2. We will make another 3 double crochets, we will chain 2, and we are going to slip stitch into this top of our chain 3. This top of our chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so we are going to slip stitch into that. I went under the top 2 chains and through that bottom chain, so it latches on very well. So now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Kind of looks like a cross. So for row 3, we will slip stitch into the next chain, we will slip stitch into the next chain, and then we will slip stitch into that chain 2 space. We will chain 3. Chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So we will make 1 double crochet, we will chain 3, and in the same chain 2 space right here, we will make 2 double crochets. And these are our corners that we're creating. This will be one of our corners. In the next 3 chains, we will make 1 double crochet in each chain. So in each double crochet here, we will make a double crochet. So we will just go into that chain. It's 1, it's 2, and that's 3. And in this chain 2 space, we will do the same thing we did here. We will want 2 double crochets. It's 1, 2, . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 . 2 Sometimes those donut yarn skeins are a little difficult. We will chain 3, and we will make 2 more double crochets in that chain 2 space. Now we will double crochet into those 3 double crochets. And this square is so simple. We are going to repeat the same thing for each round. We will just double crochet on top of the double crochets. And then we will go into the corner chain space, and we will make 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets. I know when you look at this square, you might not think that it's easy, but it's very, very easy. So we're just going to go into that double crochet and make a double crochet. I'm going to go into the next double crochet and make a double crochet. And then we'll go into the next double crochet and make a double crochet. In this chain space here, be 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. And then of course we will double crochet over top those 3 double crochets. And we will slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. I'm just going to go through that chain so that I have that bottom loop. So I'm going, because the chain, it's made of 3 loops, so it has 2 loops at the top that looks like a V, and it has a loop at the bottom. That way it's latched into that chain. I'm just going to pull and tighten that a little bit. So that is what our square looks like, and we are just going to repeat the same thing. So we want to slip stitch till we get into this chain space. So this next chain we will slip stitch, and then we will slip stitch into that chain 3 space. We will chain 3 for a double crochet. We will make 1 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochets. This is super easy. And now we will double crochet into each double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 double crochets, so we will make 7 double crochets. We'll go right into that chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then in this chain 3 space, we'll do the same thing. 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. It's a very easy pattern. And now we have our 7 double crochets, so we will make 7 double crochets on top of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this chain 3 space, we will make our 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. And each row is like this. So however big you want your square, you just keep repeating this pattern. We will make a double crochet on top of that double crochet, and so on. Super easy. Make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 7. Now we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Look at that pretty square. You can use this pattern for anything. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just gotta get into those slip stitches where we slip stitched there from the previous row. I believe that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, one more. 7. And then we slip stitch into top of that chain 3. So what do we do for the next row? We will slip stitch into this next chain and slip stitch into that chain space. And then we will make our chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then continue with the pattern. Now we will chain 3, 2 double crochets, just like the other rows. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 double crochets. So we need a double crochet excuse me, into each of these 11 double crochets. Sorry about that. And that is how our square increases and gets bigger. So I'll go into this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So I would definitely keep track of your count. So before you do that, I would make sure count each of these double crochets and then count as you go, so you don't accidentally put an extra double crochet into this part of the chain over here. So now we will do our 2 double crochets, our chain 3, and our 2 double crochets. And then we should have 11 double crochets across here. And keep track of your count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then we continue with the pattern, 2 double crochets in the chain space with a chain 3, and 2 double crochets in that chain space, and then we just keep doing that. We just continue to do that all the way around. Isn't that pretty? That is a pretty square. And you can use this to make wash rags. If you use cotton, you can use this to make cute little scrubbies. This could be a coaster. You can make a coaster out of that easy. Like really, this row, let's see, this is row 1, 2, 3, and 4. So to make a coaster, all you would need is 4 rows. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. You can use this pattern for all sorts of things. So you just continue to do that all the way around, and you just keep doing the same thing. And we need to do this for, if you want to make this exactly the same size as this square for the lamb, then you will need to keep doing this till row, let's see, till row 7. So keep doing this until you reach row 7. I will meet you back at the end of row 7, and then I will show you what to do for the last row. I'm sorry, correction. Keep repeating this pattern till row 8. And then for row 9, I will show you what to do for the last row. So I'm sorry, it's not until row 7, it's until row 8. And I will meet you all back then at the end of row 8. I apologize, this pattern stops at row 7, so you will continue to work in the round, creating the square, and you will stop at row 6. And this is at the end of row 6. I apologize, I am having a little bit of a hard day. So I am at the end of row 6, so I will slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, and for the last row, for row 7, what we will do is we will chain 1, and we will make 1 single crochet in each chain, but in this chain 3 space we will make 4 single crochets. And the reason why we will make 4 single crochets is because if you are using this pattern to make a blanket, then you will need it to be equal on both sides, so that when we sew it, we will sew all the way across, and in the chain 3 space here and here, we will stitch the first 2 chains, and then on this side you will stitch the first 2 chains here. That way it'll be equal. So in the chain 3 spaces on the last row, you will make 4 single crochets, and then you will just go into each chain here with a single crochet all the way around. Now if you want to make it bigger, then you can. This is just where I stopped at for the lamb chop. I thought that looked good. Any bigger, I didn't like it any bigger than this. And I'm not really sure why I wrote down that it was more rows than what it is, but this square is a total of 7 rows, the chain 4 foundation chain, and then our first row of the double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the single crochet row is row 7. And I apologize about that mix up. So that is all we will do to finish this up. It's just the single crochets. That way it straightens out the edge of our square nicely so that we can sew our squares together for a blanket. Now go on this chain 3 space and make 4 single crochets. Go right into that first double crochet, single crochet across, and then to stitch on your lamb chop in the middle of the square, you can use the yarn that you used for the white baubles if you want. Let's see, it's a nice pretty square. Let's see. Yeah, you could definitely, if you wanted, you can definitely use your yarn needle and use this white yarn and stitch in through each chain onto your square, however you want. Or you can use a sewing needle and sewing thread. It all depends on the look that you want, because if you do use this white Ogo yarn or your white yarn, it will definitely show in the back. So if you use sewing needle and thread, then it won't be as noticeable unless you're going to have 2 layers, you know, like this. Oops, sorry. Unless you're going to have a 2-layered blanket like that, which wouldn't be bad. It would definitely be thick and it would look nice. Then you wouldn't have to worry about what it looks like. So go ahead and single crochet across, and don't forget to put the 4 single crochets in this chain space corner, and I will meet you back then. Once you have reached the end, you will slip stitch, join, pull that tight, cut your yarn tail to the length that you want. And I guess that all depends on if you're going to use this yarn tail to sew the squares together. And if you were, then you would definitely want a long yarn tail. But for this case, I'm just going to have it short and not long. I'm just going to pull that yarn tail through that loop. Close that off. I'm going to weave in. Probably use a smaller hook. Just weave in my yarn tails. And then I'll stitch on my lamb chop, my sheep applique or lamb applique, you know, whichever you want to call it. Some people call theirs a sheep applique, and I thought it looked more like lamb chop myself off that show. That was on when I was a kid, with the puppet I thought my lamb looked a lot like that one. Yeah, so we're just gonna weave this in good and hide it, and then weave this in too. So I want to thank you all for watching the video all the way till the end. I was trying not to make this a very long video. Just trying to keep it as short as possible. But thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm always every day designing and making new things for the holiday, and also clothes. I got a very nice blouse, t-shirt pattern that's getting ready to come out soon for the spring. It's very, very pretty. I'm using this, let's see, I got it right here. I'm using this beautiful red heart yarn to make the t-shirt. It's very, very soft, very, very pretty. So that's going to be very nice. I've already got the pattern developed for size small, medium, large, and X large. I just have to figure out how to make the pattern in 2X and 3X and possibly 4X. I got a lot of stuff coming out. Every day I'm working on making new stuff. And also have some patterns for washcloths with flowers too. Got that coming out. I gotta make the cross washcloths. I made these beautiful washcloths for Easter. These Easter cross washcloths. I got a lot of nice patterns coming out. So don't forget to like, share, and definitely subscribe. That way you will get notifications on every new DIY crochet video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all like this pattern and the lamb and the square. And I will see you all soon. Thank you all. Bye-bye.